Thank you, Jay. Tracy was awesome, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, whoa. What I think is really cool, though, is this different generational thing. She says so many really great things. Authentic, be yourself. I can't be Tracy, but I can be me, right? Many of you probably can't be Tracy either, but you can be yourself, right? So that's, I think, a great takeaway from that presentation there. All right. So maybe we should be in a slightly different meeting, so see if you recognize this. Hi, my name is John. I'm a mortgage loan originator.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. I haven't closed a loan in 38 days, and the overhead is killing me, right? So hopefully you don't feel that way, but maybe you do. And that's all right. AI is here to stay, and I can tell you right now, I'm not an expert at artificial intelligence at all. But what I am good at doing is, understanding the big picture and putting together kind of processes and things to sort of take advantage of what I see if things are happening. So I call it additional intelligence, right? So instead of artificial, additional intelligence, and that's the way I kind of view it. I kind of view this as a kind of a new way of doing business. And I really am thankful to my business coach who brought together a bunch of like-minded LOs back in March and started kind of working on AI. And it's been able to enable me to accelerate a bunch of projects I was not getting done. Now granted, it's a little bit slow right now, so we have time to work on things, as Tracy alluded to. But the reality is, I would have been just filling that time doing something, probably wasting time, quite honestly. So AI has allowed me to accelerate projects that I think will be really big payoffs over the next couple of years, and I think you guys can take advantage of that as well. So at the end of the day, I really view AI as being kind of the future of our workplace. It's going to allow us to enhance our natural abilities with technology and maybe find potential that we didn't even know that we had. And it's really kind of fabulous. And I don't think we're going to lose, people worried about losing their jobs to AI. You're not going to lose your job to an AI. You might lose your job to someone who's better with AI than you are. And it's going very quickly. A lot of people feel like if you sort of haven't got at least some basic understanding of AI within the next few months, or don't already, and some of you may be more advanced than I am, I have no idea, that it might be difficult to catch up after a while. So imagine if back in the early 90s, you didn't know what web browsing was, and you didn't know what email was, and it took you 3 or 4 years to figure it out. You would have been way behind the curve, right? So AI is here. I don't think you know a lot about it. You seem to kind of understand how it works and kind of see the big picture. So, the level of competency in all our business in what we call intellectual labor, which is the work we do, right? We go out and we gather information, we share it with our clients and our partners, and we hopefully get a transaction from that. The floor of competency, because of AI, has been raised to everybody. We all have access to the same information, and we can get this intelligence, get it very quickly, right? So now your skill set's going to become not that knowledge, but how you then apply that knowledge through AI. That image that I created there on the left, I think is an interesting viewpoint, and I created that with AI. It's a tool called Leonardo.ai, if you're interested. And so I think it kind of shows what's happening in our business, a lot of other financial services business. The gentleman on the right looks like me, an older white guy, right? And we've dominated financial services. It's been about us, but it's changing very quickly. I think the C2 is on the cutting edge of that. We need the next gen, right? We need younger people to come into the business. I think it's wonderful. It's not a battle. At the end of the day, I think it's really a merging of different strengths, right? So we have these fresh new ideas. We have tech-savvy ideas like Tracy just shared with me, with all of us. I couldn't do 90% of what she's talking about doing, but I can do what I do well, okay? So we combine together that knowledge, sort of the experience and wisdom and resilience that we have, maybe some of the older ones of us, and I think we need each other, right, to come together for these new ideas and so forth. So we're really going to learn how to maybe cooperate, co-create, to create a better future, and AI is going to be a really big part of it. So you probably all know what generative AI is, but just a very quick review. Generative AI takes really a prompt. A user puts in a prompt. It goes through these massive databases that analyze data and so forth, and then out creates new content. It could be art, it could be images, it could be text, and so forth. By the way, I should mention, I don't think anyone mentioned it earlier, all the presentations today are going to be, they're filmed, obviously. They'll be posted on the C2 website later on. You're going to get a copy of this presentation. I should also mention this presentation is only about half of the normal presentation I do. And if you want a copy of the full presentation, you'll have a chance to get that from me as well. All right. So take notes, but you don't need to take massive notes. So AI really is just a tool, and tools are about leverage for the user if you actually use the tool. Like all tools have ever been created, these tools are going to create an unfair advantage for those that are willing to learn to use them. So I kind of view AI as kind of a co-pilot, kind of beside you. It doesn't take over, but it maybe gives you insights, it gives you ideas and strategies, it helps you kind of think through different things and avoid mistakes and so forth, ultimately delivering maybe a better journey through the work you're trying to do. So I'm assuming that most of us have a ChatGPT account. Raise your hand if you have a ChatGPT account. And if you're using it, if actually logged in and done something with it. All right, good. If you haven't, if you're one of maybe the 40% that didn't raise their hands, go sign up. The link's right there, or just Google it, you can go get it, okay? So ChatGPT is really your foundation, the work we're doing. There's some other generative AI tools out there with other companies, but this is sort of the big heavyweight in the industry. And there's a lot you can do with it. Don't worry about all those different little things on the left-hand side, but you can write Twitter blog posts, coding, language, brainstorming, prepping. I use it for prepping for prospect calls. You put your client in to go meet and see what are maybe 3 challenges that advisor is working on, and it'll give you some ideas on how to talk to them about that kind of stuff. But mostly we're using it for creating content, marketing, and those sorts of things, and it's quite easy to use. You may know that there's 2 versions of Chat. So the original version is 3.5. Okay, there's 4.0. 4.0 is a paid subscription. It's $20 a month. It's much bigger than 3.5. It's smarter, more creative, it makes fewer mistakes, and it's learning very, very rapidly. Right, so one of the limitations you may or may not know about is that whichever version you're using, the information is only current as of September 2021. If you ask Chat what happened 1 month ago, it's going to make up an answer, because it doesn't know. It'll make up some BS, and it may be close or it may not be close. So you have to be a little bit careful about that sort of things. One of the most powerful parts of ChatGPT, though, is the web browsing capabilities and the plugins. So plugins are wide and varied. There are tons hitting the market every single day. Again, you have to have the paid version to be able to use the plugins. And I have it because of the plugins. It's $20 a month is worth it for me. So there's a lot of different things you do. There's travel sites, there's planning events, all sorts of kind of cool stuff you can do. The one I'm using, though, kind of right now, is called Code Interpreter. So Code Interpreter, you can drop in a URL. It's probably hard to kind of see, but there's a URL up there. Every single month, I create a video. It's maybe 6 or 7 minutes, which, as Tracy just told you, is too long. But it's 6 or 7 minutes, and it's about 6 or 7 PowerPoint slides. And it's a strategy that I developed to share with our partners and whatever consumers want to see it. I decided I needed a transcript to go with it, right? So I'm creating a video, I'm sitting there, it's taking me half an hour to create a PowerPoint and talk over it and so forth. But I didn't have the text that goes with it. And some people just don't want to watch video. They want to read a quick summary or a white page, whatever you want to call it. So I was literally paying someone, through Elance, one of the other kind of companies, or Fiverr, before to create these for me. And it was charging me 30, 40, 50 bucks a piece, depending on what it was. You plug it into here. It literally took 15 seconds to create an entire summary for me. I edited it in about 2 or 3 minutes, and my white paper's done. Huge time saver, money saver, very cool kind of tool. The key to all AI is how you put in the prompts. So prompting is how you talk to Chat or any kind of other AI kind of tool. And so keep in mind, it is a conversation. We all know that conversation is really important, right? Especially with our family, our business partners, and maybe our spouse being the most important person to talk to. Chat is kind of the same way. You want to talk back and forth. It's learning who you are. It's trying to understand what you're trying to accomplish and so forth. But we find that this prompt format works really well for the type of work that we're all doing, which most of the time is marketing, content creation, and trying to get people to do business with us, right? So here's the format that we like. It's called persona, task, audience, and output. Quick example. Act as a leading expert in mortgage lending. That's all of us, leading expert in mortgage lending. To explain buying a first home, right? That's the task, to a 5-year-old. Why a 5-year-old? Because most of our clients don't know much more than a 5-year-old about buying a home or getting a mortgage. In reality, they pretend they do, but we do it every day, and they do it a few times in a lifetime. In a 250-word blog post, right? So then you can adapt that, change it up, and do different ways of kind of doing it. But that's kind of the basic format that we're kind of following. So now we're going to transition to. I'm going to share with you a strategy, business strategy, building strategy that we're doing right now with my team. They're here. And my son Dave is going to come up here in a few moments and help us do a live demo of chat and interactive stuff. But we call this the refi-ready blended rate strategy. And I think you can literally hit this running tomorrow and have it up and running in just a couple of hours. Okay? So let me kind of dig into it a little bit more. Let me ask you a few questions first, though. How many of you have clients that have low fixed rates in the 2s and 3s that are never going to refinance those mortgages? Right, raise your hands. Every single person should have their hand up. How many of those same clients, with all that massive equity they've grown in the last couple of years, have gone and gotten lines of credit to build things like pools and backyards and buy Porsches and whatever it is they do? How many of you kept that data? Did you actually keep the data? Whether you reported it out or you did it yourself, hopefully you have all that data. Another quick question. How many of your clients do you think went out and got a home equity line of credit or a second mortgage and did not tell you? Right? They're cheating on you behind your back. Right? Probably a few of you. How many of those same people, since they got that low rate 2 years ago, have incurred credit card debt? Right? You see where we're going? How about student loans are about to come due here in September and October? Right? So debt consolidation is not a new strategy. You know, we all do it. We all help our clients kind of figure this kind of stuff out. But how are you preparing it for it now? Last question. Despite the news story this morning, if any of you read it, that said interest rates are going to 8% or 8.5%. I have no idea if that's true or not. That was the first thing I saw this morning, very uplifting. How many of you believe that interest rates are going to go down here eventually? Right? UWM sends up every time it tells us they're going to go down, get ready for the next boom, the next leg up, right? I believe it's going to happen. And so we call this a blended rate, right? So it's a blended rate. It's this low fixed rate plus a higher rate, and you got to figure out what's their blended cost of money. So what is the blended cost of money? This is an Excel spreadsheet. If you'd like to get a copy of it, you'll be able to sign up later on and get it from me. And so it's pretty simple, right? It's just that idea. You know what blended rate is. There's their first mortgage. This is an actual client of mine. First mortgage at 367, 2.979. Thank you, UWM, exact rate. They have a second mortgage, $200,000. We referred it out. He wanted to add on to his house to do some home improvement, pay off some other debt, and so forth. It's now at 10.5, not 10.25. And he's maxed out, $200,000, right? So his blended rate at the time was 5.544. So we agreed when we referred out the home equity line of credit that when rates hit 5% or under, they would be talking about a refinance, right? So we pre-positioned that. And I'm going to encourage you to do the same kind of thing by talking about blended rate with your clients. Even if they don't do anything, you may as well call them anyway. It's something to do, right? This call is you can be making. Interesting study that came out very recently that said that of the 63% of homeowners that have mortgages, if rates fall under 5%, they would consider moving up or down, and so forth. So there's this psychological thing where people don't want to move because I got a 3% rate. Now they're discovering people have given up hope that ever happening again. But 5% might be the threshold. If we fall under it, that things will start to move again, which will again create our next kind of wave and our next boom. Fingers crossed, right? All right, so David, you want to start making your way up here? So here's the strategy. This is a very simple strategy that I put together. I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm sure some of you are much smarter than I am. You'll have other ways of doing this. But what do you do first? We have to prepare. What are the things we need to prepare to kind of get the strategy out in the world? We need an email to clients. We need an email to partners. We need a script for the database. We need a script for business partners, okay? Step number one. Hang on, actually, it's open up the other browser down there. All right, number two, execute. Now we have to do something. Got to send our emails, right? And we're going to call. We're also going to call. How many calls are we going to make every day? How many days a week are we going to call? 3 days a week, 2 hours a day? What's it going to be? 20 calls a day? You know, you figure out what rhythm works best for you. Then you're going to follow up because, of course, people won't call you back. They won't respond to your emails, so you're going to have to keep chasing them down. Next, kind of rinse and repeat, kind of build it out. So you're creating your tracking process. I don't care what you use, Excel, Sheets, a Word document, whatever you use that works is the best tool that you should use. And we're creating what we're calling refi-ready folders. Is it physical folders? No, it's digital. So you did a client's loan 18 months ago. You still have their driver's license. You still have their HOI. You still have some of the other details, the things that don't change. With UWM's tool, you can download the entire file, right? Drop it in a digital folder, be ready to go. Why are you doing this? Because you're going to call your clients and say, we're going to streamline this for you. Because who's going to call them first when rates drop? their servicer, right? And all the call centers will be calling them. So be ahead of it is all I'm suggesting, right? And the way you can be ahead of it is saying, we've already done business with you, we have all your stuff, I've seen a couple of quick updates, we're going to streamline the whole process, and we're going to go. But you might want to do a little prep work yourself just so you are ready to actually do that. And then extend it out. I love this adopt my mortgage kind of idea. You know, your clients have friends, associates, church, school groups, whatever. We're going out to all our financial planning partners. We have about 150 financial planners that are in our database. We work with about a third of those on a regular basis. The others are sort of prospects. But we're offering to their clients, hey, would you like to have us calculate the blended rate for your clients? We're just starting to do this now, so I don't have any great data to say, yeah, it's going to be great, but I think it'll be fine. A lot of those advisors will do it. And for those of you that want to go the advanced strategy, you don't have to. You can use AI to create videos to your clients, create videos to your partners, social media posts like we've been talking about already. We've created a landing page to intake the form, the information. So we're already sharing that with our financial planning partners. They can send their client there. We get the data, we send the financial planner the report after that. You're building your refi-ready list in advance of it all happening. Right? So it's all the loans you've closed in the last 18 or 24 months. It's all these blended rate kind of things. And of course, you're going to find debt consolidation along the way because people have incurred debt. We know the credit card, we just hit the highest amount of credit card debt ever in our country. Kind of scary, but that's what's happening. Okay, so now we're going to bounce over, and this is the interactive portion, where we're going to build some of the ChatGPT kind of stuff. So this is my son, David Thompson. Hello. I've been very fortunate because I can't remember what the question was earlier. Should you just go out and hire a young person to do all your stuff? I agree with Tracy. You do need to be authentic. It needs to be you. But if you have someone along, it will absolutely accelerate what you're doing, as well as Jack, who's back there as well. They've been instrumental in getting a lot of stuff done that I would have never gotten done ourselves. So here's Chat. So where do we start? We're going to talk about blended rate. We want to first confirm that Chat knows what a blended rate is. So go ahead, Dave. So it might be difficult to see, so he's inputting, can you please explain to me what a blended interest rate is? Certainly, John. See, it knows me. Okay, it combines multiple interest rates in a simple average rate. This can be applied to various situations, commonly used in mortgage loans, particularly when refinancing. Yada, yada, yada. Weighted average, refinancing, consolidating loans. So it knows, and that's going to give you an example. So it's giving you this kind of stuff, and again, we're doing this live. I'm not sure you need the calculation, but fair enough. You can use that calculation as well. All right, so what did we do next? We talked about the 4 things we need to prepare. What were they again? Does anyone remember? Email to clients, email to business partners, a calling script for partners, and so for clients and for stuff. So, all right. Can someone yell out a prompt that they think might satisfy that? Mike, someone yell out a prompt.
Act as a mortgage expert to create a phone script for a person who has credit card debt, and I might be able to do that.
Perfect. Let's see what Chat tells us.
So John, this is a thread that Doc use.
It does. So if you start a conversation, again, it's a conversation with a sentient being. I'm not really sure, but it's with the AI, right? And so as long as you're staying within the same thread, it knows what you've already asked, and so it's going to refer back to that and going forth. If you start a whole new chat, it'll be a whole different conversation. But it's learning. So in reality, that all the stuff which you can't see off the left-hand side that I have on there, is learning from the things I put in there as well. But yes, you want to stay in one chat. All right, so here comes your email and so forth. What I find that this is helping me with a lot, and maybe some of you have the same issue, is friction, right? So friction. Like we're going through the day, you have a file that's supposed to go to docs, they suddenly ask for another condition, it kind of irritates you, and so you end up wasting 2 or 3 hours dealing with it, and then you're kind of tired, it goes lunchtime, and and all of a sudden the day's kind of going by, so you don't start to work on these kinds of things, right? Because like, oh, I got to really sit down and write this script or this email for my clients. And you just won't do it because it's easier to do it tomorrow, right? So with Chat, You can do this in 15 seconds, and now it's doing it for you. Maybe you don't do anything with it from here, but now it's kind of done. And then what you can do, Dave, you want to scroll back up and so where they cut and paste it. So on the top right-hand side, all the way at the top, is about, maybe it's off the screen. So there's a little clipping tool. You literally hit that tool, clip, paste it onto a Word document or into an online docs, whatever you want to do, and it'll be there. Okay? What else do we need? We need a partner one, right? Who wants to give me a partner script? A prompt. How about now write the same email for business partners? It's that simple. You're going back and forth. All right, so this is going to be probably 80% of the way there. And then you're going to want to put it into your own authentic voice, right? Because we don't all talk like this, although it will learn to talk like you over time. If you put the edits back in there, it will learn to kind of talk like you, do those kind of things. It's a little eerie, to be honest. But it's kind of cool. So this will kind of work for you. What's our time look like? All right. So you get the idea, right? So the partner scripting and partner emails will skip because you get the idea now. You simply put in now create one for my business partners, and we're able to go from there. And there it is. All right, so I encourage you all to go home and do that and go from there. All right? Moving on. Don't go anywhere, David. Because he's going to help us maybe answer some Q&A so we have time for it. All right, so a couple of questions came earlier about the captions and so forth. Short form video was a huge roadblock for me. I didn't want to do it. I don't know what filters are. I don't know any of that stuff. Weirdly enough, know that we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on it all. We're on all that stuff, and we've actually gotten leads. Nothing that we closed, but interesting enough, it happens. So this was the thing for me. I'm used to creating longer form videos, and we need short form videos. So rather than demo it here, we found this tool, submagic.co. And here's a video of my team explaining how we
Hi everyone,
use
my
it.
name is Jack. I'm the social media manager over at Simple Mortgage. Today, I wanted to discuss a little bit of how we're leveraging the use of AI to help us produce short form content. So when we first started, it was taking around 2 to 3 hours for us to film, edit, and post these videos. Now with the use of AI, we're down to around 15 minutes, which definitely frees up some time. So I'm going to pass it along to David, who's going to go throughout our process and give you an inside look at how we get these things done. Thanks, Jack. Yeah, so here's a quick overview of our process. First, we want to come up with some mortgage topics that we want to talk about, whether that's first-time home buyer tips, new mortgage product, whatever it is. If you don't have ideas, you can simply ask ChatGPT to give you some. From there, we usually ask ChatGPT to write us a script or outline. We like to do about 10 or so at a time. So hey, we'll say write 10 scripts at a time. We'll copy and paste those scripts. Of course, we'll edit them as we need. We'll copy and paste those scripts over to our teleprompter app on our phone. You can download a teleprompter app. And then you can go ahead and record the video using teleprompter, or if you just want to record using a script off the top of your head, you can. After the recording is good to you, you go ahead and save that video to your phone, get it on your computer, whether that's just Google Drive or some other way. And we'll go ahead and pop it into Submagic. Submagic will do all the subtitling, the emojis, and all the kind of video editing. It's just a long consuming time. And then from there, it's basically done. Go ahead and post.
In times of rising interest rates, credit card debt just passed $1 trillion. And student loans starting back up, it's time to get home.
So feel free to rip off and adapt, okay? Again, as a reminder, this is about half the normal presentation I do. I've done this presentation probably in different forms 6 or 7 times in the last couple of months for professional groups. You always learn something that's kind of fun. But I'm going to share just a couple of quick tools. But the longer presentation, I should say, has examples of 3 or 4 other tools that we're using to create things like ebooks, presentations, and some stuff like that. So how would we use this every single day in our business? So ChatGPT is your foundational and Copilot. And with the Copilot, they're there for you. So anything that I write, I also drop into Quillbot. Quillbot's an editing tool. It's fantastic. It's making my writing better. You literally cut and paste whatever it is you're writing, drop it in there. It's going to give you suggestions on how to make it better. Either shorter, longer, more creative, funny, sad, whatever. You can give tone to it. And it's going to give you different suggestions for words. And it's amazing the stuff it comes up with. It writes better certainly than I am. Grammarly, many of you may have heard of Grammarly. Grammarly's been around a while. It floats on top of anything you're writing on your computer, and it gives you suggestions on different words and spelling errors and grammatical errors and that kind of stuff. Has everyone heard of Canva? Yeah, most of them have heard of Canva, right? Pretty great tool. If you only had to get one tool, get Canva, and pay the $150 for the pro version. It's an annual fee. Is it annual? I can't remember. Anyway, so you can create QR codes, you can create PowerPoint presentations, you can create whiteboard videos, you can create images, you can create marketing material. If you only had one thing, Canva would be it. And so go out and use that as well. One of the destinations I hold...
5 minutes.
I'm sorry, thank you. One of the destinations I hold is Certified Liability Advisor, or CLA. Every month we kind of publish a strategy, and this is going to be an AI video of one of the strategies which we call the planned trade down. There's a couple other CLAs here at C2. You're going to hear from Todd Swanson a little later on this afternoon. But here's the video again, created with AI. It took about 38 minutes to create this video. So it's obviously targeted at senior homeowners around reverse mortgage kind of stuff, and we post those and go out and share it with people. So I know it's moving quickly, right? AI is moving really quickly. I tell you, don't panic about it. Just kind of become aware of it. For those of you that have teams, I would encourage you to do the work yourself. Like Tracy said earlier, do it yourself. You won't really understand how to leverage it correctly unless you do at least some of the initial work yourself and understand creativity behind it. And then if you want to hand it off, like I've handed off, you can certainly do that. So don't be afraid of that at all. So the phone rings, and Grandma says, "Hi." Johnny says, "I'm in Mexico. I've lost my wallet, I have no money, I can't get home. Can you help me out, Grandma?" "Oh my gosh, Johnny, I'm so sorry. Of course I can help you out. What do you want me to do?" "I have a friend that can come by the house in about 25 minutes and can pick up, if maybe have $2,500 you can lend me, and I'll give it to you as soon as I get back from Mexico." Right? We've all heard of this scam, right? And it's happening, and now it's happening even more so with AI. AI can go out and get Johnny's voice, you can get my voice, you can get all of our voices. If you've ever spoken online, internet, anywhere, it's got your voice. You can take your voice, create it, and with AI now, it can actually go back and forth. It can have an interactive conversation between Johnny and Grandma. So how do you prevent this? This is my takeaway, final suggestion today. Create a family safe word or phrase. Anytime they call to ask about money or something like that, "Johnny, I'm so happy you called. I'm really sorry you're stuck in Mexico. What's the family safe word?" If you don't say it out loud anywhere, AI is not going to know what the family safe word is. David, do we have a family safe word? We do. We do. All right. Good try. It's not hard to figure out. Jack probably knows what it is. Anyway, so thank you very much. Have you learned one good thing here today?